Well, Squatcha, how you do, Buckaroos? How the heck are you? I am Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer. Happy St. Patrick's Day, all. This is my second video of the day, but I took a little break. Made some dinner. Did our standard corned beef. Although this one was a little better than usual. I got it through Butcher Box and was very lean. Didn't have that big layer of fat that you usually have to trim off yourself. Anyway, yeah, it was really good, man. I added some. I braise mine. I don't boil. Boiling takes the flavor out. Braising keeps it in, locks it in. Anyway, so yeah, so I basically, you give the brown on each side, you take it out. I used Banter Brewing's Marrow's Cap Irish Ale to deglaze the pan, and then I added some onion, cooked it down a little bit. Then I dropped in a small bag, I think it was 1 pound of some baby gold potatoes. And layered some cabbage on top, put the meat on top of the cabbage, and just let it cook low and slow. And boy, was it good! Boy, that corned beef was amazing, man. But we took my wife really wanted some cold can, and it was our son's favorite thing. So uh, the potatoes, good butter, heavy cream, a little bit of cabbage. I love, but you want a little bit in there for some texture and flavor. You can do cheese. Some recipes call for cheese, some don't. But my wife's not as cheesy as I am, so I left the cheese out. Boy, was it good! And then topped with some green onions. Anyway, I've got two products that I'm finishing up from Hyde. I actually picked these up on St. Patrick's Day last year. My wife and I spent a couple of days in the Joplin area. We went to the big celebration at Kiltoy and hit a few other places. Anyways, this is the Hyde 1893 single malt Irish whiskey at 92 proof. This is the sherry cask finish. And then I also have got just a tiny bit left of this one because I only want to do about 2 ounces of each. This one worked out to right at 2 ounces. This one still has a little left, but I didn't want to put it all in there. Maybe I ought to. Anyway, maybe I'll just chuck it in there, Tom. Also at 92 proof, this is their rum finish. So anyway, let me show you both bottles. 1922, 1893. There we go. We're going to start with the 1893. So there's about 2 ounces of each in my little shamrock glass, as you can see. Why don't you? Yeah, I had to take a break because I was so full. But it was really good, man. Rather sweet on the nose. I feel like I'm picking up a hint of maple on the nose, believe it or not. Maybe a little raisin as well. Certainly going to find the usual suspects: some vanilla, some spice, some oak. Boy, that was nice. Really have enjoyed these. I should have bought more. I had an opportunity back in August to pick up another bottle, but I didn't. Can't believe they lasted me a year, though. They did. They really did. They lasted me a year. I can't believe it. That was right on St. Patrick's Day last year at Jugs Liquor and Joplin. I bought these. I think it was the day before St. Patrick's Day, actually. But, right around there. And that no, actually, it was St. Patrick's Day because it was on Friday. We stayed Friday and Saturday. Some of the celebrations were Friday and Saturday. St. Patrick's Day should be today, but leap year screwed everything up. But it's okay. We're just gonna carry on the celebration. We're gonna start today, and we're gonna keep going tomorrow. So now that I've cooked my corned beef, tomorrow is easy, right? I'm gonna take some of that and grind it up. Got some of those potatoes. I'm gonna add some cabbage too. Not everybody does, but traditionally hash is the meat, potatoes, onions, whatever. But hash really is leftovers, right? It's like what soup is or what stew is. It's what you have left. Grind it all up. Make some nice hash. Then I'm gonna take some of that corned beef, and my wife and I are gonna have a Reuben. I'm gonna make some Irish chicken stew too. Typically, I do beef or pork, but I had to do chicken this year. And so I had some good chicken. Well, I was looking up to see if there was a recipe for Irish chicken stew, and by golly, there was. So I'm going to take that and kind of build upon a theme there. Wow, 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 wow. So yeah, I had the red breast, the three small bottles of red breast. I drank about half of each bottle earlier. Like I said, I took a break, had some dinner. Now my tummy's set. I thought I'd have work through these two. I wanted to finish them both, but there's just a little bit left in the rum finish Hyde. I don't need more than 2 ounces right now. So I want to do some other stuff later. I've still got some Irish or the Marrow's Cap. They're Irish style red from Banter Brewing. I haven't had a beer yet today, but I also have the stout cask finish, stout cask a Jameson that I found on sale, and I'm going to use that to do an old fashioned. I'm going to do an Irish old fashioned with a homemade ginger, lavender, thyme, simple syrups. I'm trying to use an Irish spice palette. You see, they use a lot of thyme and lavender. So I made that simple syrup earlier, so that'll probably be near the end of the night. I'll do that old fashioned. And I'll finish up some of these other products tomorrow. Wine through them. I'm going to add in some Irish American products. And I guess the next holiday is Easter, but I can't think of an Easter alcohol specific. Not sure what we're going to do this Easter. Like I said, it's just the wife and I. Sometimes traditions or holidays are hard for us these days. Kind of just depends. Sometimes I just kind of play it by ear. Some will do ham, some do lamb. I'm not a big lamb guy, so I may do a ham, but I haven't picked one out yet. I'm not crazy about. I don't know why everybody loves those spiral hams. They just they dry out. I had a couple of friends do. Well, I had one friend find a recipe for pulled ham, and he tried it. And he brought it in for us to try, and boy, that was amazing. So I may look that recipe up and try something like that. It was because I mean, you could tell it's ham, but it doesn't quite taste like ham anymore. It's really interesting. It just, I mean, it's so tender, it just kind of falls apart. Went to turn that music down, but I forgot. I forgot, man. It is festive, though, is it not? But it's the same thing over and over again. It's on a loop, man. Getting a feeling of deja vu. Oh man, that's a good whiskey. These Hyde products are really good, man. Can't believe it's taken me a year to get through. I think I kind of it's because I remember I drank a fair amount those first couple of days I had it, but I think I just kind of set them to the side after that for other things that my wife and did that year or last year. We took a lot of small trips last year, so we've decided not to do that this year. It'll be our 30th anniversary, so we're just going to take one big one later on in the year. So I'm trying to condition myself to get some money put away instead of spending it, but it's not really in my nature. But so that's the idea this year is not taking those small trips and not spending the money. Although now that I've shedded the one job, I don't have that urgency to get away as much as I did before. Right? I just feel like I need to get away from everything, but things aren't so bad anymore. Money's a little tighter, but the stress is a lot less. So that's nice. Oh, mercy. That's nice. Thought about doing something tomorrow because I am off tomorrow on St. Patrick's Day. There's a lot of places in town doing things. I go to Springfield Brewing Company because prices are usually less there, and I have a mug out there on Sundays. I have a mug every day, but the price are usually less on Sundays. Anyway, they've got bagpipes and some other things going on tomorrow, so I may go out there for a short time. Mm. Boy, that corned beef potatoes, boy, that stuff was filling. Oh, well, I tell you what was filling is my wife's soda bread. She hasn't made that in a while. Boy, that was really good. Yeah, she made some. She also made some beer bread using uh, a Schwartz beer from Banter Brewing, and that came out really good. But for Irish meal, she had the soda bread. Man, that stuff was incredible. Nice and crusty on the outside, moist on the inside. That was delicious. But more carbs than either of us usually eat with the potatoes and the bread. So it was rather filling. Boy, was it good. Corned beef was nice too. Boy, it was the leanest corned beef I've ever cooked. Man, it was tasty. Usually, when I buy that typical, in the past, when I've had to buy that typical store corned beef, you got to doctor it up quite a bit to get some flavor. But I didn't with this one. All I added, I didn't add any salt, but I did put some fresh cracked black pepper over the top for cooking. That's really all I did. Well, and I put some butter on it. Put some good Irish butter over the top, let that melt inside. Ah, so we finish up the 1893. Let me put it off to the side here. I need to get rid of that. Thought I'd save what was left of my red breast bottles. Finish them off tomorrow. I'll work through some other stuff. Just want to start up here and then gradually bring it down. That's what I did. Want to start with that red breast and I'll work into the Hyde. And like I said, I've got that stout cast. I do want to have one old fashioned later this evening. So I made that simple syrup, and I really want to give it a whirl. Do that kind of Irish old fashioned. Oh, although Banter is open tomorrow, I know some of my friends are going to be out there. So I thought about going back up today after I got off work, but I just didn't have it in me. I kept getting messages to come back up, but didn't really want to. Once I get my clothes off, it's just not going to happen. Once I get comfy, and I know I had all that stuff I wanted to get done, so we'll see how tomorrow plays out too. All right, I left my water here so I can cleanse my palate for a second before I switch to the second one. Uh, they also have this two stacks. Maybe later this evening, we'll do a Irish coffee. That's sounding good because I've got this coffee. I got this really good freaking coffee. Back in August at the Whiskey Snug, a little Irish store downtown Weston, Missouri, a little north of KC. They had this. The brand was Brady's. It was an Irish whiskey barrel coffee. And man, that stuff is insane. Had some for breakfast, and I wanted to do an Irish coffee then, but I knew I had to go into work for about 2 hours, so I didn't. So I really want to make some tonight. That might be dessert. I'll make myself a nice Irish coffee with a whiskey barrel and then some whiskey. And oh my gosh. Maybe I used the rest of the Hyde in that one. I got just a little bit left there. But I am down to try that old fashioned. I had that idea to do the ginger lavender thyme simple syrup. That Irish old fashioned. There are some similarities between the two whiskeys. Obviously, you're starting with the single malt whiskey. The sherry cask, I get more fruit notes. The rum cask is just a little sweeter. Body feels just a tad thinner too to me. I mean, not too thin, but just a little thinner than the other one. That's all. Uh, I used to always be restless on my days off. I had to go somewhere. I had to be doing something, but I'm not that restless. A lot of changes. I don't get quite that restless bone that I once did. Some of that is age, I think, but I think some of it is just that I don't have that stress at another job anymore. I don't have that need to have to get away because I don't have that numbness on the forehead that you get when you're tired of dealing with certain people. I can't deal with stupid anymore, man. I just can't. Oh, mercy. Both of these whiskeys are amazing. I really couldn't recommend one over the other. I would recommend just about any Hyde product. Banter Brewing had been carrying for the season a stout cask finish. That thing was awful good too. So I mean, it wasn't a single malt whiskey though. I did notice that. I thought they were all single malts, but this one wasn't a single malt. But it was very good nonetheless. Nonetheless, anyways, it was really good. They asked me to put together a cocktail for the season, so I did. But I had to. I was kind of limited to the ingredients that we had available there. It's not like I had the full bar. So with the products we were carrying, I used their Ire Gold Irish whiskey. Well, actually, I formulated with stuff I had at home, to be honest with you, and then because I didn't want to experiment with it. Once I had that recipe, then I went to my boss and said, "Okay, this is it." Was 2 ounces of the Irish whiskey, 1 ounce of Irish cream, and then I did a homemade mint simple syrup. So it's 1 ounce of simple syrup and just a couple dashes of mint bitters. One of the regulars described it as a thin mint cookie. He says it tastes like a thin mint cookie. All right, I'll tell you. To be honest, I was kind of the thought process as I was putting it together. But again, I only had certain ingredients to work with. I did make the house made simple syrup, just raw sugar, water equal parts, and I added some fresh mint, and I added just a couple dashes of bitters to it, mostly just to add a little color. Turned out nicely. So, anyways, and then I had that idea to do this one today. So, this syrup works out. I'll present it to my bosses as well for something else. Uh, they got a light on me all of a sudden. I didn't know how it got to 7 o'clock. Like 4 when I did the first video, but then I had to finish up my dinner and ate and took a shower. Now it's 7. How the fuck did it become 7 o'clock? Now it's getting late already. It's still not dark though, so that's nice. I hate when it gets dark at 5:30 because I don't want to go to bed the second it gets dark, man. Anyways, I digress. But I got a little bit of this Hyde left. Yeah, I may have to just put that in my Irish coffee this evening. I'm the whiskey whisperer, whiskey evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, man. Ah, all around good guys. Slunch ya. Thanks for tuning in.